I'm Emmalynn.
I'm Jessica.
And today we are here with our January TBR. And I don't think I've ever been so confident in a TBR in my life. I'm so excited.
Out the gate.
Like, they just all look so beautiful together. Like, they're all meant to be for me.
That's probably why you picked them.
I'm just going to go ahead because...
Let's just say these are all just totally what we're going to read. There's no rhyme or reason.
No thanks.
Just, this is all vibes.
I'm not... Like, I'm here to be entertaining, but, like...
Enjoy myself.
Yeah. This is my first book, A Fire Endless, and I just need to talk about the Amazon kind of did me dirty, and it's a little damaged. And that's just what I wanted to say.
I feel like our mail person does us dirty,
She's
too.
The worst.
She is too rough and in a hurry.
Anyways, this is the sequel to A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. This is a duology. And I absolutely love the first book. I'm very scared to see where this is going to go. It follows Jack Tamerlane. Can't remember how they said it in the audiobook. The audiobook is like Irish or something, which helps because a lot of the names I wouldn't know how to say properly. So I recommend the audiobooks as well. Anyways, and he is a bard. He's currently on the mainland because something happened on the island where he used to live. He's been gone since I think he was 10 years old. And then he gets a letter that there's a bunch of girls going missing on the island. So he goes back, and the music that, as a bard, his music can connect to like the spirits, the elemental spirits. And so they like tell him things because, you know, they see everything. The people, the water spirits are like, this is who's been in the water. So they're kind of like helping him almost solve this mystery. And it's so vibey. It's so good. It's slow, but it's way more fast-paced than I was expecting. Like, if you think the concept sounds boring, it's definitely not. And I was very emotionally invested and scared.
Okay. Okay. The first book I'm going to finish this year, I know because I've already started it, is Liesl Kings by Victoria McCombs. This is the second book in her duology. The first book is called Mortal Queens. So I've only read a few chapters of this, so I'm just going to tell you what the first one is about. And in this world that the book takes place in, there is a world of fae that is separate from the world of mortals. And every year, the fae come to the mortal world and they pick a new mortal queen to take back to the fae world. So the mortals are just like enraptured by the idea of getting to go live in the fae world and rule as their queen. So like the little girls dream about becoming a fae queen. So it's kind of like the Hunger Games in the fact that like once they get a certain age, they age out of the possibility to become a fae queen. So they like kind of have a reaping, like 3 fae come to the mortal world. They draw their names out of like a fishbowl essentially, and that's who they take to go be their mortal queen. So we follow our main girl who right at the beginning gets her name drawn to become a fae queen, and upon getting her name chosen, she like immediately feels like maybe going and being a fae queen isn't all it's like cracked up to be. And once she gets there, she realizes that there are no other mortal queens. So even though they pick them every single year, there's mysteriously none of the other mortal queens except for one. So she kind of has to start unraveling this mystery of like, where have all these mortal queens gone? There's something amiss. What happens to them? And in this world, what I like about it is all the fae are what you would expect fae to be projected as. They're very mischievous. They trick you a lot. They're very intelligent. Obviously very beautiful. They use their looks to their advantage, that sort of thing. But there's this mystery surrounding all the mortal queens. You learn about that in the first book, so I'm not going to say what that is. But this is picking up right where the first book left off, which was a huge cliffhanger. So I had to immediately go out and buy this. So that's the first book I'll be finishing for sure.
Okay, my first book.
She's doing it. She's doing it.
I just know this is about toxic people in London, and
they're
I'm
rich.
here for it. I know this is like
Gossip Girl.
Yeah, that's what people say. I've never watched Gossip Girl because obviously
That was
it
my
lost
generation.
well, it just lost its fun because I know who Gossip Girl is. So then it's like, what's the point? That's literally the entire show.
Yeah, and when I watched the show, I mean, I watched it not knowing who Gossip Girl was, and you don't know until I think like the very
that's
last
like the
episode.
Same as, you know, watching Pretty Little Liars and not knowing who A is, and I know who A is, and I've never seen a single episode.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Your generation spoils things.
No, it's just because people talk about things.
Yeah, be on social media. They go and spoil it.
But, like, it's also been around for so long.
It has. That's true.
I'd probably be more likely to watch Pretty Little Liars than Gossip Girl. But, anyways, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. I don't know how I'm also going to... How do you gauge how you feel about something like this when you know they're so toxic? You know? Like, are you like, this is good, but it's good because it's entertaining, or this is bad,
or maybe
but is it bad because you don't agree with their choices?
Maybe it's just good because the writing is good.
Right. Like, I just want to know. So, I've only bought this one. I prefer the older covers, but it's okay because the pink and red color combo will get me every single time.
Yep. And you don't have to look at the cover, just look at the spine.
The spine is cutesy.
Okay. The next book I've also already started because it's on Kindle Unlimited, and that is Spark of the Everflame. I know, like, there's kind of a little bit of controversy surrounding the series because people really like the first book and then not the second one. But I'm enjoying it so far. I've probably only read, like, 30 pages. But this is a fantasy book set in a world where the world was created by the gods, and so now they have, like, what do you call it in Percy Jackson? Like, demigods, kind of, are, like, the people ruling the world. But also, I think it's kind of like the people that are demigods, most people don't like them because they're demigods. So the main girl is one, but her mom has, like, made it to where her identity as a demigod is hidden somehow. I don't know if she did something to her appearance or what it is that made her, like, be hidden as a demigod. But anyways, I don't really know what this book is about other than that it's fantasy and there's demigods involved, and people have really liked it, and it's on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm reading it tandem while physically reading it. Okay,
my next book is so random, but
so
just
random.
All of a sudden I wanted to read a Sally Rooney book, and I don't know why I decided this one. I think it's just because it is so new that there's, like, less expectations for it. I don't really have much in my head other than I know Destiny Sidwell liked it, and I know that, like, her opinion on Sally Rooney really varies from book to book. Sometimes there are some authors that all their books are good, but some of them, it's okay, in my opinion, to like one book by an author and not the other.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when people rave about a whole author, especially something as specific as literary fiction, I'm a little skeptical. So I'm trusting Destiny that, you know, if this story connects to her, maybe it'll connect to me. We're in the same age range-ish. But this is about Peter, who is a lawyer, and Ivan, his younger brother, who is a competitive chess player. And it's about their life after their father died, just sibling dynamics, one being older and seemingly more successful than the younger one, etc. So, I'm excited to see what I think. I'm, like, already having pep talks with myself about the lack of quotation marks.
It'll be okay. You can handle it. Okay. This book I picked up at the Barnes & Noble sale. I'm really interested in this because the second one is coming out this month, I think. I believe so. Really, the reason I want to read this is because people say it gives Six of Crows vibes. I'm not expecting it to like, be as good as Six of Crows. But if it gives me the vibes and it's a good time, that's all I need. So I don't have any expectations of it other than just give me the vibes. But this follows 5 individuals who each have different gifts. And they are all kind of known for like a different criminal activity of some sort. But they're all uniting to kill the king. So, like, even though they have, like, kind of their each individual gifting that makes them criminal in some way, they all agreed that, like, it's worthwhile to unite to kill the king. They also have to, like, trust each other and come together and work together. But only one of them will get the crown after they kill the king. So... who's it gonna be? I don't know. I just know that, like, there are a lot of... out of the 5 characters, I've heard people say there's one that, like, really gets on their nerves. But then Carrie Can Read said that she liked that character. So I'm kind of interested to see... I'm interested to see who it is. Like, can one of them just give Kaz Brucker vibes? That's all I'm asking for. You know? I love a band of misfits. So can it just give me... just give me those vibes.
Okay, my next book is Lady Macbeth by Ava Reed, and I read A Study in Drowning this year, which is young adult, and this is adult, so I'm interested to see what the dynamic is like, how much darker it is, but this is obviously a Macbeth retelling, and it says, from Ava Reed comes a reimagining of Lady Macbeth, Shakespeare's most famous villainess, giving her a voice, a past, and a power that transforms the story men have written for her. And Hannah Witten said, deftly told and richly imagined, Lady Macbeth is a gothic fever dream with sharpened teeth. And I just like also the length of it, because, like, I feel like some retellings are too long.
Yeah.
And we clearly know the backstory. And if you need all that time to remake the backstory, I just don't want it. So I'm excited. I feel like this will be a good palette cleanser. I feel like it's going to have a lot of different genres going on. And I just love the cover. I love hot pink and black.
That is cute. Okay, this book I picked up at Second and Charles. It's been on my to read list for a long time. And then I saw that Reagan from Peruse Project rated this really high when I saw this in the store, and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up. But this is obviously about disappearances. It's set in a town where every 7 years someone vanishes. Wait, no. Every 7 years something vanishes. Scents, reflections, the stars in the sky, even the ability to dream. No one knows what causes these disappearances or what will slip away next. But for some reason, the people in this town think this girl's mom is the reason that all of these things happen. So she's, like, wanting to figure out the mystery of why these things happen to, like, clear her mom's name, which is really interesting. Anyways, I'm really excited to read this. I feel like I'm going to need something, a little thriller mystery element, because all I have so far are fantasy books. So hopefully this will be like a fast-paced kind of palette cleanser.
Next book I feel like is going to make me cry, and that's The Collected Regrets of Clover. And I've seen a lot of people talk about this book lately, and I don't know what it is. I just really have been wanting to read pretty much only literary fiction. I just love, and memoirs, so I think it's just something about people's stories. Maybe next is like a country music episode. I don't know. But this is about Clover, and she's a death doula, so she just, like, sits with people and helps people as they're slowly dying, like, come to peace with it, I guess. And so it says, Clover spends so much time with the dying that she has no life of her own until the final wishes of a feisty old woman sends Clover on a road trip across the country to uncover a forgotten love story and perhaps her own happy ending. As she finds herself struggling to navigate the uncharted waters of romance and friendship, Clover is forced to examine what she really wants and whether she'll have the courage to go after it.
Stories about elderly people just really get me.
I know. But then they're, like, going on a road trip, so it's, like, I feel like it's going to be back and forth between sad and happy. And is it sad because, like, her only relationships are with people that instantly die? Like, I don't know. It's kind of reminding me of, like, The Happy Life of Isadora Bentley. Mm-hmm. Just the concept of all the friendship. It also says that it turns the normally taboo subject of death into a reason to celebrate life. So I'm sure we'll have a happy ending, hopefully. Annabelle Monaghan also blurbed it, and I love her so much. So I'm curious more than anything.
Okay, the next book I've also started on my Kindle because it's now on Kindle Unlimited, or it was a few days ago, and that's Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I really want to read all 3 of these books in this world that are connected before her new book comes out. I have Just for the Summer, but I don't have, what's it called, Sincerely Yours?
Yes.
I don't have that one, so I need to get that one after I read this one, but what I have read was funny. It was easy to read, lighthearted so far, and I think I'm gonna really enjoy her writing. So definitely plan on finishing that one this month.
Okay, next up for me is Beach Read by Emily Henry, which is the only Emily Henry book I haven't read. Don't ask me why. I literally have no idea. There's no reason to it. Don't ask me why I also bought this special edition without.
Because it's beautiful.
Well, it's stunning. I love it so much. Even if I know that no matter what, I'll enjoy this book. I just don't know that it'll be my favorite.
Yeah. That's the only book I have read by her, which is really funny.
I'm so excited to read this, though. I just think she does no wrong, really.
Okay, this book is kind of an interesting choice, but again, I feel like I'm gonna need some thrillers.
Oh my gosh!
So
is this like because of the show we were watching?
Yes. Okay, so to say I love this movie, it makes me sound like a very...
You appreciate the artistry.
A very damaged person.
The acting is insane.
I loved the movie. Oh my gosh, what is it called?
Split.
The concept of it, the acting of... What is his name? I just completely blanked out.
Mr. Tumnus.
Yes. Anyways, whatever his name is, he's Mr. Tumnus in Narnia. So it also, okay, that movie gave me the vibes of The Last House on Needless Street. Then we recently just finished the documentary about the 6 schizophrenic brothers, which was also very fascinating. Things about mental health, multiple personalities, that whole, I mean, it's part of what I went to college for, so I guess that's why it does fascinate me. But this is, EMMALYNN'S says, gives the vibes of the movie Split, and so I'm here for that.
It's insane. It's so good.
Also, it's really fascinating to me that Brandon Sanderson wrote a thriller.
I don't know if I would fully say it's a thriller.
It's psychological, right?
Yeah, but really only because he has psychological things. I mean,
know. It's a mystery. Like,
it's
what
a
would
mystery,
you say? Okay.
For sure.
But I've had this forever.
For me.
I'm intrigued by this. So
this is also, it's very short, but it's technically 3 books in one. So it was actually, I guess, just borderline short stories, and this is like a bind up.
It says it has the pulse of a thriller and the hook of a fascinating hero balancing on the edge of psychosis.
I feel like it's if Sherlock had multiple personalities.
Which maybe he did.
Like the cover, that's just what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really want to reread it. I think I read it in like 2019, 2020, so it's been a long time, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm very curious by it.
Okay, my next one is Destroy the Day by Bridget Kimmerer. I just need to make a compilation video of me trying to say her last name. This book is...
She's kind of beefy.
And one of my friends didn't love this one, but absolutely adored the first 2. I read the first 2 years ago, and then I just did a reread last year. And then I was just like, by the time I finished rereading them, I like, for some reason, wasn't in the mood to pick up the third one. I also just really love the characters, so I'm very worried that something's gonna happen that, like, I'm not gonna love them as much as I used to. I don't know. This is a YA fantasy trilogy, and it follows, I can't remember their names, but it's a girl who is kind of like a herbalist, a nurse almost, because there's this disease going around, so she steals medicine from the rich, gives it to the poor, and one of her best friends is this guy who helps her, but he always wears a mask, and not like a COVID mask. It's not going to give you PTSD, but it's like they just don't want to know each other's identities in case they ever got questioned or in trouble. They, like, couldn't hurt each other, essentially, but she's, like, falling in love with him. Then she finds, actually, the prince. And so then it becomes, like, this enemies to lovers situation. She tries to break into the castle and then gets captured. There's just so much going on. But the side characters are just the very best ever. It's just a classic YA fantasy series that sometimes you need.
Is that on your...
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's my honorable mention.
Okay.
I want to make progress, but I don't want to read the whole thing.
Okay, I'm just gonna say these two together because at the same time. Okay, we've had this for a while. That's The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivy, and I got another one of her books the other day. It's called, like, To the Edge of the World or something like that, and it had really good reviews. But this is her first book that she wrote, so I want to read this one first. But this is basically about a couple that lives in the middle of nowhere in Alaska, and they're kind of struggling in their marriage and just with, like, being out in the middle of the nowhere by themselves. And during the first snowfall, they make, like, a snow child, and it like comes to life, I think. Because then the next day, the snow child is gone, but they see a little girl running around in the woods. And so it's kind of about, like, them falling in love with this little girl. I don't know what happens. They end up loving her, probably. Which is really sad. Maybe she'll become a real girl like Pinocchio is what I'm hoping. But I feel like this is just going to be, like, very lyrical, very fairy tale-esque, set in a very winter setting. So I'm here for that. And then this is just a little novella. It's under 100 pages that I want to read. This novella kind of launches this series. But this is about a guy that, like, goes around helping businesses that are failing, specifically bookstores. So he kind of, like, helps revitalize these bookstores, bring them back to life. And this one is set in California, in California's oldest and only ever bookstore in this little town. So I've just heard this is, like, really endearing and cutesy. Okay, talk about your last one.
Well,
go ahead.
No, that's not it. This is my honorable mention.
Oh.
My last one is A Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne Young.
Oh, yeah.
Just rejoined Book of the Month for the second
mail.
time.
It's in the mail right now.
I'm, like, reading the synopsis for, I feel like, the first time, and it's low-key so depressing. This is about James and Johnny. Johnny dies. She's investigating her death. What's really sad... Yeah, whatever. What's really sad is I didn't know they were twins, and Adrienne Young has a twin brother. And they're doing, like, a virtual discussion about this book together. That's so sad that she had the idea of, what if my brother dies, and wrote a book about
like what
it.
She would do.
It's so sad. How did I not know that? Oh my gosh. Okay, anyways. I'm really excited for it. I know it's going to definitely have sad elements, but her writing's so good that it, like, doesn't matter. Then next, my honorable mention is Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I've just been really itching to get back into this series. I'd like to read
Her
like
copy
half,
is so ratchet.
like, but it's so nice. Like,
she
the
is worn in.
flop, unbelievable. She would just completely fold over. Anyways, I want to read like half of this month maybe. Because now that the 5th installment is out, I feel like I
the
can
final book.
Yeah,
in the
I feel like I can
installment.
read them all, and then I won't feel pressured to reread them before the 6th book comes out in probably
You know what we need to
3
do?
years.
I was thinking about this. We need to read them and
Take notes.
Yes,
I know.
for real. Like of things that we think we need to remember.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to the 5th one.
But I just... Nothing will be like the way I felt reading this for the first time. It was so good. So
The attachment to the
just
characters.
searching for the feeling again.
Yeah.
Because I'm like having the urge to read Rhythm of War, but I know if I read that and then the 5th book, I'll just like be so attached that I'll want to start it all over. So let's just fix that and start it all over right now.
Okay, so I had this idea. I went into Notion, I cataloged all the books I have on my shelf that I have not read, and I categorized them by color. And so I decided every month I'm going to use a random number generator to make me read a book that's on my shelves that maybe I have forgotten about or wouldn't normally get to. So here we go. I'm kind of scared.
Okay, 132.
Oh, okay. Okay, Truth Witch, which is by Susan Dennard. Her, yeah. Which is the first book in a series, and I'm totally fine with it. It's published by Tor, so I feel like it has a really good chance of being good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember what it's about, but that's okay. It's fantasy. I can usually get through something.
Let's go!
Yay for reading your bookshelf, you know?
Good job.
And I'm not reading any library books this month. I'm banning myself.
Yeah, your problem is never buying books. It's getting too many library books.
But I am going to listen to, I just got on Libby the other day. What's that? Memoir of something vampires.
Oh, from the One Tree Hill lady?
What is it?
I thought it was something about a cult, actually.
Yeah.
Dinner with Vampires.
Is that?
Something like that.
They're four Oh, come on.
I knew I was so close.
You are close.
Live on a cult TV show while also in an actual cult.
Okay, so I do plan on listening to that.
Okay, thank you.
And I did get that from the library. But that doesn't count. It's an audio.
Why would you buy an audio?
Yeah, and I don't buy memoirs unless it's like someone I really love, like Julie Andrews. I would buy hers.
Right.
Anyways, so that's what I plan on reading and listening to that book this month.
I just feel I'm hyped. Like,
yeah, let's go. Let's get
why
started
am I
right
like
now.
wanting to read this first though? I'm scared of myself.
You should like find a really good Spotify playlist. I feel like, does anyone else feel like Spotify playlists just like really amp up? I feel like when I listen to certain things, I'm like, yes, this is
whatever when I
setting me up
listened
for
to
success.
For Heartless Hunter changed my life. Also,
really,
it was just like
was
the
it
vibes
for that
were
book
so
specifically?
Good. Yes, but for me, when I was reading this for the first time, all I would listen to was Sweater Weather instrumentals. I have when I hear the songs, I think of this book.
See, when I listen to, or when I read these kinds of books, I listen to like Viking music.
I can't do it. It stresses me out. I'm like, I need like a Taylor Swift. La, la, la.
That doesn't go. Whoa, what was that?
Probably a chasm fiend. An axe hound. It looks like a bug.
I forgot about that. We're excited to read.
I'm so
excited. I'm excited for this month.
And we're about to be in the car for like
12
hours. So we'll have to like talk to Ellie.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's going to be amazing. So excited.
Yep. Let us know what you're excited about for the month of January. And
sorry. Looking at the dog, it's fine. Anyways.
Yeah. Let us know what you're excited to read about. Or not read about. What you're excited to read this month.
What your goals are.
Yeah.
What genre.
By the way, what did you make your reading goal for the year?
Well, I thought we could do a whole video about those things.
Okay,
but
secret.
I did 65.
I did 75.
I read 78. I always like to make it lower so I don't get disappointed in myself or too caught up. Like, if I do more, that's great. If not, it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what that average is to per month. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
And listening to us. Yeah. So, hope you have a great day. Bye.
Bye.